Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm in business. OCA. Before I do anything, I must give praises to the Most High. The time now is 10:42 p.m. Saturday night. Um, my story is about the Buffalo Soldiers, and I must tell this part of history because some people don't know about the Buffalo Soldiers. Um, Buffalo Soldiers came about in 1866, and most of the cavalry back then, the 10th Cavalry was all black, and the ninth uh, Cavalry was black. And the Buffalo Soldiers, they were slaves, and the same government that waged war against indigenous people put them against one another. And they didn't care nothing about them either too much, like the African American soldiers. And their nickname Buffalo. There's so many stories about where that name come from. It can mean like some natives said that Buffalo Soldier came from like the buffalo hair, because they said the soldier's hair looked just like the buffalo, was thick and curly, and so they call them Buffalo Soldiers. And Bob Marley, the reggae singer, even made a song about these soldiers. He was saying Buffalo Soldier, but it's a twist about the story. They would tell them, they don't say this on television. They would tell the soldier, if you didn't um, fight these Indians, and the African American soldiers, they was there for one reason. They protected the white settlers, and I mean it's ironic, but that's what happened. And when some African Americans got their freedom, what they thought was so-called freedom, but it wasn't. Um, some of them so obsessed with killing the Indian more than a white person because they didn't like what was done to them, so they took their frustration out on the Indians and stuff like that. So, but getting back to what I'm saying, um, I don't know if y'all heard of West Point in New York. It's a military school. Um, one African soldier, Buffalo Soldier, became the first to graduate from there. His name was Henry Ocean Flipper. He was became the commanding officer in the what was it, 10th Cavalry, and then there was another soldier, John, um, I forget his name, John Alexander, graduated from there in 1887, and in 18 what was he? Yeah, 1887 he graduated. Then in 1887 he became the second commanding officer of the Buffalo Soldiers. His name was John Hanks Alexander. Those soldiers, and it's a third one. I have more on him too, but that's a part of history people don't like. I don't, they put them against one another, and sometimes people, like I said, people take on other people's identity because what happened to them, they don't like. Some people don't. It's ashamed of being their own self. So like in the Bible, it said people will take other people's identity. So they did that too, but it wasn't like it was forced. It was forced on them. Um, so a lot of people don't even know about these people. They even got a Buffalo Soldier museum in Texas. If you go there, you can learn a lot by these soldiers. They even got a statue of one of them on a horse. I had one of their dolls. Matter of fact, I had John Alexander doll in my store, and I had my store in New York. I had my store called Red Hawk Trading Post. Some people like to talk about them, but they part of history too. You can't change history, but that's the way things was done then. They painted the way for white settlers, and they was being used too and stuff like that. So some of them, I think some of them, when they found out that they was being used, some of them deserted. I don't think they tell people about this, and they had a put a point out for them like be hanged because they deserted the military. I guess they don't tell people that part of history, but they was there for one reason to keep the silver the warriors in check, the ones that they call uncivilized, and the other ones they would fight them because they call them uncivilized, call them savages, and the other Indians they would put on reservations that were supposed to be the civilized one day, but they still put them on reservations, and they don't talk about this in school. That's why, like in high school, but public school, they not allowed to teach the right curricula. You learning culture in school. You really learning European descent people's culture. That's their culture. That's why this black girl said to me, "I got a bachelor's degree." I said, "Yeah, that's good and all, but you supposed to know your culture. You just got you got a degree in white man knowledge. That knowledge you got from him, that's his knowledge and not yours. You don't know your own history. That's what a lot of people get confused about. You know history, but you know his. That's why if you ask any, well, not everybody, I'm talking about a real educated black person, no, a non-educated black person, he would, if you tell him to count 10 kings from Africa and queens, they couldn't name none of them, but I guarantee if you tell them to count 10 queens from Europe, they would know all of them. That's what you were taught. You were taught to learn, they want you to bow down to them. They do it by their history. It's like the dictionary that was written by two white college students and stuff like that. So they putting their truth in that the dictionary. So that's false too. Just like I was telling people about paperwork, all that's illegal. Immigration is illegal, even though it's a government thing. It's still illegal because the people that took the land from my ancestors, how the hell you gonna make somebody legal when you wasn't even legal? So it's all a bunch of malarkey. Same thing about the auditors that go out and harass people and make money. They do not care about no first, second, third, fourth, fifth amendment. All they care about is their pocketbook and stuff like that. What you think they doing that for free? Like I said in my other video, it's all about money. And it's like that's like they can do a lot of things online. You know why they don't want to do things online? Like I said before in my other video, because they won't, nobody can see it. They want to do it in person because they want to make their little shitty videos and stuff like that. That's why they do it in person. But getting back to the Buffalo Soldiers, um, what was done to them too is terrible. The white man used them to track down to track down Indians, and once they used them, they didn't want to recognize them no more. Same thing when they used Native American scouts and they joined the army like the Apaches um, to track down Geronimo. Because Geronimo's a Cherokee Apache. They used them to track them down because old White Eyes he can't catch him by himself. He had to use somebody that knew the land, and they knew the land. They didn't know the land. And even though the Buffalo Soldiers considered the Plains Indian enemy, they respected them. You know, they really respected these soldiers. And yeah, the Buffalo Soldiers they killed Native Americans, but they was in a situation they had no choice and stuff like that. Cause I know what they did. Even though I went back there, you can just take a wild guess. Okay, um, y'all gonna help us fight these Indians, or else we'll kill somebody close to you. they ain't gonna tell all the truth. That's why they, and, and stuff like that. They always try to make them look good. Like my sister, she didn't even know that Indians, but she's not into that type of culture. Even though our mother is an Indian, um, when I told the interior um, do deal with Indians, they get rations from them, and they give them money for being an Indian. It's like saying, "Oh, we giving you money because we just killed your ancestors," and stuff like that. And that's like my niece asked me, Lynette. She live in the South. She hasn't why the black people don't get reparations because they don't want to give it to them. And I think a person should get reparations for their ancestors getting murdered. And Indians the same way. A lot of Indians don't get reparation, and they Indians. I don't get reparation, and my mother came from the Midwest. She came from a reservation, so every time people see Indian, they think that they uh, got money. A lot of Indians is Indians are the lowest on the totem pole. They lower than the African American person in this country. That's why a lady didn't understand. I said it's more in Native Americans in jail than anybody else. It's a prison right upstate that housed them, and they don't even talk about that because they don't want you to know. And I know what I am, like I said before. Um, and later, you're dark. It be excuse me. You're dark to be an Indian. I said you've been watching many John Wayne movies and stuff like that. So all that stuff you see in Hollywood is fake too. Like when you see native pictures, you may see, like my mother said, you might see one or two or three real Indians standing in the background. The other people be other ethnic people playing as natives and stuff. Indians come in all colors, like Jim Thorpe that helped create NFL football. They thought he was a white man because he was a very light skinned native. When they found out what he was in 1912, he played football. He ran track. He played baseball. But they tried like he did something to get him out on a technicality. They even took his Olympic gold medal for him. O.J. Simpson, when he won the Heisman Trophy, he had his uh it's called a Jim Thorpe Award, and so they don't even talk about him in sports anymore. You don't hear them hardly bring up nothing about him, and that's what I was saying about my thing. What I'm doing, Henry Olsen Flipper. He went to West Point in back in the 1800s. He was the first black to graduate from that school. It's a military school upstate New York. And the other one, the second one, is John Hanks Alexander. He graduated in 1887. He became a commanding officer and second officer to be a commander of the Buffalo Soldiers and stuff. So I just want to get that out there, and that's I know. And then you had some Indians, like some African American soldiers, they won't tell us either. I'm not trying to stir up trouble. Just saying a lot of them, when they did join the Buffalo Soldiers, gave them a right, gave them a chance. We can kill, take our anger on other people. They put their anger out on the Indian because a lot of Buffalo Soldiers, they like killing Indians more than a white person like killing an Indian. They hated them, some of them. Um, but they don't tell this because I guess they figure family get mad. I know them soldiers still got family living today and stuff like that. But that was a war that it wasn't their fault. It was the people that run this country for making people fight people, and just because you didn't like the other person's agenda or their way of life, and that's what a lot of people do. And I'm gonna say everybody today now wants to be an indigenous person, and that's impossible. That's why. Oh God. That's why getting back what I was saying before. If you don't know anything about the culture, I wouldn't advise you to make a fool of yourself. Like I see people YouTube channel come on with a ball eagle and a war bonnet on. I told a girl before that do not make you an Indian. A war bonnet, that's for war. So when a person have that on their channel and saying that he's a native, got that on, you got to know the history. That's a war bonnet. That represent the feathers represent your kills. I guess you don't kill somebody if you wear something like that, because each feather represent your enemy you kill. It's not for show. It's not for Halloween. That's culture. That's part of his way of life and his way of thinking and his mind and soul and spirit. It's not for what people think it is. But getting back to the Buffalo Soldiers and stuff like that, um, yeah, I'm gonna try to get his dog. I had his dog in my store, a couple of dogs by the soldiers, and the Indians respected them even though they was fighting one another. He didn't respect the man that sent them after them because he know that wasn't the African Americans' fault. And they used them though to make the frontier. They used those soldiers to build to protect white settlers and stuff like that. And they knew they was on the indigenous people's land. They still after the president after they told them that they wouldn't allow to dig look for gold, they still did it. That's why the army help protect those miners that came there that worked in the mine, and of course that's who run this country. Even I try to tell people, it's a slave on a $2 bill. You don't believe me? You can look it up yourself. He's rat hidden in the leaves, stuff like that. So they trying to tell you who run this country. That's why these dumb YouTubers, they don't care about nothing. All they care about is money. They don't have, and they'll get so. Oh, you don't want the thing to show you about the amendments. They're not interested. That they do that to make themselves look good, but they trying to make money, and they know what they doing. And like the girl said, you could do this online, and they go to why can't I do it here? You know why they want to do it in person? Because they want to have a video. If they do it online, nobody can see their crappy stuff, what they do. And then to them, all of them think that's alike. That's why I know they borrow bits and pieces from their YouTube pals and buddies. It's all scripted. Because they do this all. I'm gathering the content for a story. What damn story? I don't see no story they do. And the real news don't be talking like that, telling people, F yourself, F you, F you. And the way they, I know some cops, you got bad cops and good cops, but in their eyes, all cops are the same. Even when the cop is being very nice, like when that cop in Saipan gave all in America a sandwich, he still got said bad things about him in the comments. That was stupid. And then when I saw him again at a police thing, he didn't care about the fallen cop. He was there just harassing cop. They was having some kind of ceremony for cops. I guess got killed in the line of duty, and he was there saying nasty. He didn't care about the family's feeling or nothing. That's why I know it's all about money and views. That's why they say the most horrible things come out their mouth because they want to get a reaction. And why would you tell um people when things don't go their way when they can't get, like I said, when they can't get in the building, they loses their mind. They flip out, and they get crazy. They're gonna keep on. They're gonna have a massive heart attack. Act like that, and a man gonna be still working. You gonna be laying dead somewhere because the things that come out of their mouth, they know that they the way they act like they gods, like nobody can put a stop to them. That's why they would chase that man on the street and tase his ass because he kept filming them. You filming people and putting them on your channel. You not giving them a cut of the money. You got hired actors and don't pay them. That's why I said before when they use people in their videos, that's free actors, and they not paying them. A real actor, he gets a contract, and when they get filmed, they get paid. Y'all don't even give a person $1. I don't see none of y'all come out y'all pocket, but that's not what y'all there for. Y'all there to terrorize people and harass people and cuss people out and talk down to them, and always talking about I pay your salary. That car is mine. I said, well, damn it, if the car it belonged to you, get your asses in there and drive over. That's how I know y'all bunch of bullshit. You won't drive over. You know your ass will get arrested. So you ain't got much juice as you think you is. I said that in my other video. Why you keep on talking about I paid for that car? That's my car, and I know your little taxes they take out your check don't cover the whole damn every state they go in taxes only in the state that you live in, unless you gonna buy something out of that state real expensive like a car. And I don't think they gonna buy no car that's paying taxes in that state because they too damn cheap. They don't want nothing coming out their pockets and stuff like that. They like to make money and talk down to people. I would never do that. I would. It's like they judging people their own self, and a cop can't even do his job. They always around him. And I never seen people, they don't give you no privacy. Even when the cop try to make privacy, he can you go over there while I'm talking to this person? Because they don't got no, they ain't got sympathy. They go right over there, and if he could tell them to move back, I would take the person in my police car and roll up the window and they can't hear shit then and leave the engine running. That's what I would do because to me, they pestilence. They just like a hard, I don't even got words with them. That's why angry I get. But now you know a little bit about the Buffalo Soldiers. I'm gonna do a part two to the Buffalo Soldiers. I just gave y'all a little taste of them. They all three of them graduated from West Point. You can look this up yourself. Military school in New York. Now there's thousands of people don't graduate from there. That's black soldiers. They was the first. I bet a lot of African American people don't even know this because it's not taught to y'all. That's why they give you stuff to look up, but some people don't look up stuff. I have to know stuff like that because if I say something and I feel it's not right, I say I think so. Some people just assume something and think that they right. That's how the orders do. They don't never get the facts right. They just assume that the person he could tell you that I don't know the Third Amendment. He could be saying that because he don't want to be talking to you. Like I said in my before, there's no way in his oath said it won't find nowhere in the Constitution telling him he can has to talk to you. He can ignore you, and you can't get mad at him because it's not in his oath and policy to even answer you. And they always think they know them. They got something to hide. You know why? Cause you ain't got nothing to hide. Why y'all like to give out y'all real name? 'Cause most of y'all was criminal and got felon. Most of y'all was criminals your own self. That's why they all fraud us together. Half of them got records. And you know, just like a person is a certain ethnic person, he gonna decide with his own people before he would you. But that's his people. That's how they do. They don't never do nothing good. They never try to be nice to the officer, and they drill, run that crown into the word. Every time I see fake Mike real news with the Third Amendment, and just when they answer, the cop don't answer them. A lot of time the cop, my uncle was a state trooper. He probably know the amendments better than they do. He was a cop for 30 years, and he said a lot of time if a person keep like asking him that question, he'll look down through like he don't know. He don't have to answer you. And when he don't answer you, this will come out their mouth. You don't know it, do you? How the hell you know what you're doing? You must be a mind reader, so you don't point yourself as God Almighty. Only God can read our minds and thoughts. You don't have no physical powers like that. That's why I don't like watching them and stuff like that. They don't have mercy. The person can be talking nice to them, like that other one, them vampire teachers in New York. This other person and he think like he's some kind of king. You gotta treat him with respect. As soon as he walk in the building, he has an attitude. You gonna sit down and do that? I would have told her, damn it, I can sit down. How you know the lady ain't got bad legs? She probably can't stand for a long period of time. Did you ever think about that? I see a lot of people sit down on their job. That don't mean they lazy. You just come there, but they ask for a FOIA request. That ain't no business. They do that, like I said before, they do that to make you think they got business. Anybody's going to get that little piece of paper, and what does it prove? Nothing. And when they ask for a cop bad them a clink, well, y'all the one be wasting tax people's dollars and stuff like that. They feel like if they can waste it because we pay your salary. No, you don't. And I had people tell their people, Call the police station and flood the police station. Like I said, mother, why would you do that? Post somebody if we call them that they got an emergency, somebody could be trying to kill them. You want to tell them to flood the police station with call, but y'all don't like the service y'all got. That's that's like a tantrum you throw like a baby. I could see a little 1 or 7 or 5 year old do that. Their minds is they're a grown man in they're a kid in a grown man's body. That's how you put that. And they should grow up too. Because I certainly wouldn't warn if I seen the cops coming. I certainly wouldn't wrong the motorcycle. The cops is down there. Go the other way because they're gonna take your bike. So you want them to hit somebody and kill them, or they ain't got no insurance on their bike. I told you that's a criminal move right there. You tell another criminals always look out for one another, and then a lot of them is in competition with one another. That's why all of them do the same goddamn thing. And none of them is original. Nothing about them is original. And I feel that way because I had one come up to me and he goes, "You're gonna be on the internet for lives." I don't care what that gonna scare me. It ain't gonna do shit to me. And that's why I tell people they not operate like normal people, but they not. I think a lot of them is special needs adults anyway. But getting back to my topic, I don't said enough about them. Every time I talk about them, I get mad. I see what they do. So if you like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna do another story on the Buffalo Soldiers. I'm gonna have more information to you about them. I'm gonna find. One of them went to school in Atlanta college, um, but I'm gonna get all of their names and tell you about it. So you know, 3 of them graduated from West Point military. It's a military school. Yeah, I looked it up because I want to make sure you know how accurate people are gonna challenge you. So now I'm getting ready to sign off, but heed what I said. Nothing lasts forever, but I make the best of it because eventually I might get tired of doing this, but I don't think so because I do it from my heart. I don't be thinking like money like they do. They see dollar signs, so it's a business for them, and they be talking about y'all work for these corporations like the news, and so do y'all. What do you think U2 is? That's a business. It's a corporation and stuff. So y'all making money off of that time, but you don't want nobody to make no money but y'all. I see how they be talking to their media. They see the real news. That's why they can go in places and y'all can't come when they have press meetings because y'all not the media. Y'all just because I even heard one of them said it. First he was saying I'm a journalist. Then he said I'm a YouTuber. Then one person I'm an audit. I said make up your mind. He called himself 3 different things. I saw 4 different of his videos, and they all do the same thing. Be like somebody else, like Bruce Lee, the karate guy. Bruce Lee made up his own style, even though he did some taekwondo and other stuff. He had his own style. He was being himself. My mother said people always follow the leader, like that song where Rakim made "Follow the Leader." That's what people do. They're not original. I don't follow nobody but my God. That's who you follow. I don't follow what people tell me because I've been hurt a lot and I've been used. And so maybe God got something special planned for me. I see spirits and stuff like that. I don't know if they spirit because they said when you pass away, you just go to sleep. Your spirit goes be sleeping till God wake you up. So when people say they see a loved one, that maybe that could be I don't know everything. Maybe that could be an angel showing you your loved one. He could be in the image of your ancestors. Like people they see their ancestor, but I don't think you really can see your ancestors or spirit when they pass away. Because when you go to when you your a spirit is talking for me right now, but when you pass away, your spirit goes to sleep in the body. When you pass away, you just bearing an empty shell. Like if you suck all the egg out of a egg, this it'll be just a shell, so it got something in it, like an organism or some people want to know, is that an egg that you a baby you eating? I think it is. When you eat eggs, that means the fetus is not made or developed. Everybody be saying, where did the baby, the chicks come from? Come from that egg. I think I'm not a scientist on this stuff, but that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed the little segment I told you about the Buffalo Soldier. I'm gonna have a whole thing about them tomorrow. I'm gonna do another video. So till then, Danadai, Wado, that means take care, have a blessed night. Yawish, that means thank you. And One, that means goodbye in a native tongue. And always remember, I forgot to say that too. In any native language, they all know what I'm talking about. Many Machone, that means water is life. So I end this video tonight with everybody have a blessed evening. I hope you have a better tomorrow and a better future. Donada Wado again. Thank you.